Hey guys, it's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. As I've talked about before, I am a full-time student as well as I also have a job that I work a lot. Pretty much every time I'm not at school, I'm working. With that being said, I am now changing things up a little bit. I am posting Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I'm still gonna post a good amount throughout the week. Today's video is the start of this theme week, which is going to be kind of a how-to or maybe a tips and tricks. It's just gonna be very in-depth little portions of my makeup so that way you guys can see my little tips and tricks of how I do things. I am going to be doing my face today. Now obviously I have my makeup done for the intro, but I'm gonna show you from scratch, from the beginning, how I did my face and how I got it to look so snatched, honey. We're gonna talk about everything I do, how I get my face nice and moisturized, and all that good stuff. All right, so to begin with my makeup today, we are focusing on the face. So before I jump into my face makeup, I always make sure I prep as necessary. I always make sure I wash my face. I make sure that I moisturize really well. And often I also scrub my face to make sure that it's nice and smooth for my base of makeup, and it makes it look a little bit better most of the time. So sometimes I wash my face and then it takes me 15-20 minutes to get my makeup out or figure out what look I'm doing or set up camera like it did today. And I washed my face before I set everything up, and it's been about 20 minutes and my face is back to the way it was before. It's not as dry, but it's not as moisturized as I would like it to be. So I figured that today I would show you what I do right before I jump into my makeup. So before primer, before foundation, any of that stuff, I go in with a hydrating facial mist. Now, this one is from Walgreens. I think it was $4 when I bought it. It is great. It depends on the skin you have, because when I first tried this, it broke me out. It wasn't like a lot, it was just like 1 or 2 here and there. And then I realized that if I put it on after my moisturizer and it's not just like bare face, it's fine. So, since I have moisturizer on and it's already dried down, let's spritz this guy on. This is just the hydrating facial mist. It's got cucumber, rose water, and hyaluronic acid in it. So I am gonna start off with primer. Primer is obviously something that everybody knows about right now, and it's something that is very controversial. Some people think that primer is not necessary. For me, it's very necessary, and I'll tell you why. So I'm using the Smashbox Original Photo Finish Primer. I use this one all the time. I love it a lot. I've tried other primers. I like the Hangover RX one by Too Faced, but this is my tried and true right here. I have trouble a lot with my face, like my makeup not staying on my nose and right under my eyes and in this whole area right here. And I found that when I put primer on, it just makes it stick there all day. And I am totally on board with primer, and I think it's necessary for me. If you don't feel like you need primer, then girl, it's all you. But experiment with different ones. I think that everybody has a primer that might work for them. Next up is foundation. I found this foundation, I actually bought it pretty much right when it came out, and I've been using it ever since. I love it a lot. This is the Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. This stuff is so good. I love it personally. I have 2 different shades. One is for the summer, one is for the winter, and then I mix them together for everything in between. For me, I think the biggest thing that I can say for foundation is just make sure that it matches you. So I use this flat side. This one is from Real Techniques. I think it was a Walgreens brand. I'm not very sure exactly. So what I do is I take a little bit of product at a time with this foundation, especially. If you have a drying foundation like me, it's necessary to take it and do small sections at a time, which is what I do with this, because it tends to dry really fast. And so if I don't get it to the point where it can get into its spot where it needs to be, it is like, it's a tragedy. It really is. This is where we are at. I do go over my entire eyelid on top, and I get really close to my lash line on the bottom as well, as close as I possibly can. Tricks for foundation go, my biggest tips/tricks would be to go on top of your eye because it gives you a little bit of extra coverage when you're doing the eye look that you want to do. I also will put concealer there as well. We're set. So I'm going to move on to concealer. This is a very important step for me. I have very bad dark circles under my eyes, like I just mentioned. It's one of the biggest insecurities that I have, and I always have had. I have gotten to be a little bit more open to them now, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I have them, it's fine, we're all good. So I take my Maybelline Fit Me. I've used it multiple times on this channel. I love it. It is my tried and true. I've tried a bunch of other concealers, and this one just works for me. Here's my tip and trick for concealer. I know a lot of people like to do the triangle thing, and I've done it multiple times on my channel, and I realized the more product that I put under my eyes, as far as like, you know, face products, the worse it looks. So one thing that I have learned to do with my concealer that has made a huge difference in my makeup routine is I'll take it and I'll just do a little bit under my eyes, like that. Now with my concealer, I go in any place that I need to. So right now, as you can kind of see, the foundation did a great job today. There got a couple of zits there that I think I might just boop, 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 boop. Might just do that. And then I like to go in the crease of my nose because I like to brighten that area up a little bit. I will go just a touch down the middle of my nose, and I'm gonna leave my forehead alone today because I don't have any zits there right now currently. And so I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna touch it. And I am gonna leave this concealer under my eyes for another minute or two. I obviously don't want it to dry down all the way, but this concealer is really, really, really good for not drying down very much. It will take powder to get it to dry down. If I just did concealer, it would stay shiny under my eyes, which I actually don't mind because I leave it under my eyes for a little bit. It gets a little bit more tacky, and then it gives me more coverage. So, little tip and trick that I love to use. And I think it's time for me to blend out my concealer under my eyes. So I'm just gonna grab this, go as close as I can to my lash line, and blend down and up. So I'm going in that triangle pattern, but I don't use as much concealer as I would for the triangle shape because it weighs down my under eyes. And I realized that that is the reason why no concealer would work for me, is because I put so much on thinking that that was the way to conceal. So I know a lot of people will use beauty blenders. They'll dip into their powder and they'll go over everything and blend it out. I found that that makes my face look so cakey, and it's not a good idea for me, at least. I already have it poured out because it's very messy, so I did that beforehand. But it is my Coty Airspun in Translucent Extra Coverage. So I have a lot in here because this powder is one of the most messy powders you will ever use in your life. But I love it. It's very full coverage and I really enjoy it. So I'm going to go in with my Morphe E41 brush. This is just a big fluffy brush. I'm going to dip in just a little bit, boop, and then I'm going to tap off the excess on that brush so that there's only a little bit left, like this. And I will start with my under eyes, and I'll set my under eyes. So I just pretty much keep doing that with the sections of my face. So let's zoom you in so you can see where we're at right now. So this is what my skin looks like. Obviously you can see I have some a little couple zits going on, but overall I really like the way that this sits on my face. It is not super crazy cakey. Okay, I am back. I have finished up everything else on my makeup. I think that I really enjoyed this video, and I'm very excited for the rest of the series. I think you guys are gonna really, really like them. I wanted to do something like this for a while where I kind of hone in on certain things and just give you guys my tips and tricks of how I do them. And I thought today went really well, so I'm really excited to do the rest of the week, and I can't wait for you guys to see them. So I don't have much else to talk about because I was talking the whole video, and I'm sure you guys are like, all right, we're done. We saw your tips and tricks. See you later. All right? All right, well, I'll talk to you guys next time. Catch you later.